Hey guys, so I just completed the final volume week of my peaking plan. So this was the last week that has a quite a high volume, so a lot of accessories and still some volume work with the compound movements. So this was officially the best week of lifting of my entire, well, call it career if you will, of my entire lifting life really. So I was really pleased about that. I weighed in Tuesday at body weight of 66.5, so I'm 500 grams away from making weight. Obviously I could lose that for a water cut, but that would be silly. I just decided to make this 66 kilo weight class just by pure fat loss really. I've just been dieting to really be able to be comfortably in the 66 kilo weight class. So I just decided to drop my calories to 2,790, and I've been doing that for the last week or so. And I'm gonna stick with these numbers. I'm gonna maintain this 2,790 calories spread out. The numbers are 345 carbs, 150 protein, and 90 fat. So I'm going to be sticking to that and kind of see how much weight I can lose staying at this amount of calories. And I'll probably call that my maintenance whenever I start stalling and just stay with that for a long time. I'm hoping I can go as low as like hopefully 65, maybe the high 64s with this calorie count, so I could comfortably be under 66 and never really have to worry about making weight after this for future competitions. So that's that. I'm officially, I think now, right about 2 weeks out. So 2 weeks out on Sunday, to be precise. So I'm pretty excited. Competition entry form is not up yet, so um, I don't know if they're putting it up late or if something wrong, but um, I was just debating and I decided whatever happens, even if the competition ends up not happening, I'm not saying it won't, but it just seems like they're putting up the entry form quite late. Then I'll still do a mock meet at my gym as I'm peaking for it, so should be interesting. So yeah, that was an awesome week. Actually, looking right now at the bench footage, bench felt pretty hard, but the reps actually look really good, so I'm really happy about that. So at a body weight of 66.5, which is at this body weight, and I've said it before, anything below 67 kilo really body weight is all PRs, because when I started training for powerlifting, I was around 69 kilos. And I maintained 69 kilos for quite a few years. Decided to go up to the 74s at some point, like less than 6 months ago. And then, unfortunately, got injured just before my first comp. So I decided to drop back down because I kind of felt on the chubby side. I wanted to be back to a body weight I felt really comfortable with in terms of lifting and performance. So yeah, this was easily the best performance in the gym that I've ever had. I was able to do 135 kilos for 3 sets of 6 on the squat, which is basically over 2.2 times my body weight for 18 reps for our 3 sets of 6, which I definitely didn't believe I'd be able to achieve at such a low body weight. And yeah, it was a big milestone for me to be able to rep out over double body weight. And then yeah, on that day when I was able to do that, I was supposed to do 165 deadlift for 2 sets of 6, but then I kind of calculated it, and then for a 2.5 times body weight for reps, it equated to 166. So I bumped it up to 167.5 and just kind of went for it. I got 2 sets of 6 as well, so that was over 2.5 times body weight for 2 sets of 6, 12 reps total. So massive PBs, and that's what you're watching now. the 135 3 sets of 6, followed by 167.5 for 2 sets of 6 on the deadlift. So yeah, I was really happy with that. In terms of singles work, things are really good. 180 moved pretty well. I did miss grooves, so I just need to make sure that I stay consistent in my form with my new deadlift form. So really post on Instagram my free cues that are just really calm. I like to lift when calm, stay really tight, and be patient. Patient off the floor, patient out of the hole, patient off of the chest on all the movements. So that's really kind of what I like to stick with. So in terms of 150 for 4 singles on the squat felt pretty decent. Moved better than 145 last week. 180 moved as good as 175, just fell a little more off, unfortunately, but that still moved really well. And 85 for bench felt really heavy, unfortunately, but I realized that everything's been feeling heavy on bench. I'm guessing it's just losing that much weight. What is it? The way my body benches has probably shifted a little bit, so it feels a little odd, but I was able to actually perform my 4 singles on bench faster than the squat and the deadlift, so that was really easy. So yeah, I'm just really happy about how things have been going. Just really pleased with my lifting overall. So yeah, that's about it in terms of like the heavy stuff this week. In terms of next week, I'm basically gonna take 150. Well, basically all the weights that I did for 4 singles this week for practice singles, I am taking for triples next week. So I'm going to triple 150 squat, triple 180 deadlift, and triple 85 bench. Well, hopefully, and if I'm able to perform that for triples, there will be my planned openers for my competition. And then the other part of the week will be taking I think 95% or what I had planned second opener, sorry, for AMRAPs, so 1+. I'm hoping to get comfortable, hoping to get doubles to keep them as a second attempts. If I get them from singles, this is where I'll have to start rethinking things. But we'll see how that goes. And of course, I won't be going anywhere close to my third attempts. I'll just wait till a meet day for that. But if I actually am able to get my planned second attempts for triples, I will still keep it the way I had planned. So the way I had planned is 150 opener squat, 160 second attempt, 170 fed squat. So basically just equaling my gym PBs and just kind of going in kind of like linear increments from attempts. So 10 kilo jumps for these. For the bench, I'm hoping to go 85, 90, 95, and then the deadlift 180, 190, 200. Like I said, if I'm unable to get the triples, that's when I'll decide whether my openers can become my second attempts and my second attempts third, and then my last warm-ups could become my openers. As I said, I've lost some weight. I'm like really surprised at how strong I've been on volume, but I haven't touched anything close to my 1-rep maxes in a while. So we'll see if I'm able to perform next week. So yeah, next week is pretty much that's all I'm doing. So squat and deadlift on the Monday, 6 reps. Bench 3 reps on Tuesday. Wednesday squat for the AMRAP, where you will only get 2 to 3 reps. And then same for the bench the next day, and then the deadlift the next day. So pretty much an average of like 1 to 6 reps for the 5 days of training next week. So pretty much no volume, just come in really fresh and hopefully perform as well as I'm hoping to. So yeah, in addition to this week, basically what I did is, and you can see from the footage, very different from last week. I just kept the 2 main movements, or yeah, call them main movements, that's how I like to call them first. So squat deadlift on the Monday, the 2 benches on the Tuesday, squat deadlift on the Wednesday, and then the 2 benches on the Thursday, and then finally squat and the deadlift on the Friday. So always the 2 first movements. So I kept that the same, but all the accessory works, the sets of 12 this week, I've been trying a lot of new things, and I'm excited to say that I've finally finalize my next off-season block and peaking block. I've decided how it's going to be structured based on how I perform with this peaking plan and the movements that I've been trying throughout the last few weeks to kind of like incorporate. So there's a lot of new stuff, especially hitting my weak points. I know my weak points and where they are. Squat is at kind of like halfway through the rep, like a lockout. The bench is at lockout, and then the deadlift is off the floor. So I've been incorporating a lot of things. So here, just hitting reps right at my weak point on the squat. So that will be a really important movement for me. I will also be hitting half deadlifts from the floor to the knee. So that's to work on my weak point deadlift. And then a lot of lockout work on the bench. Some pin press, and then some super high block, basically with a foam roll for the bench. Yeah, because I decided to change all my accessories. I thought I'd be interested to kind of like make it different from the off season to the off season, whatever you want to call it, the volume phase or block and the peaking block. So what I decided to do with all the variations that I've tried throughout the last, let's say, few weeks, I've decided that all accessories would be non-specific in the off season, so kind of like high bar, and then conventional, and then front squat, stiff leg, some complexes, but just with the opposite stance. And then when I'll get closer, it will be the same kind of movement, but going back to low bar and sumo, for example, a high bar complex and a let's say conventional for rep will move to sumo for rep, a couple sets of 12, and then the high bar complex would become a low bar complex. And then that's what you're seeing now, like I'm doing some I'm doing the other portion. I'm stopping right at the weak point and going back down. So I've decided to kind of deconstruct the movement and work it for every angle for each my squat, bench, and deadlift, all of them. And it's been feeling really good. Even with lightweight, it was really tough. So I'm interested to see how well this carries over to my movement. I'm just hoping to obliterate my weak points in order to be super explosive, and never to be limited by my weak points, but just to be limited by my body's capacity to lift that weight at that time, but not because I was unable to perform this portion of the lift. So yeah, that's my goal. I have a very exciting volume and peaking phase coming after this competition. I'm already so excited to get on with it. I'm really pleased with how it's looking, and I'm starting really light. I'm probably going to bump it pretty fast, so I'm excited to see how that goes in about 3 weeks time. But yeah, for now I gotta come in next week, get the really tough stuff done. Like they're literally all gonna be PRs at this body weight, and even lifetimes, like triples at like 90%, because I'm pretty light. So yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. Excited about next week, and then the week after will just be like coming in 3 days, hitting openers, and then hitting some light triples just to keep the movement, and then midday, whether it be on the real platform or in the gym, it will happen. Not freaking out at all. I'm just surprised that they're putting the entry form so late, but all should be fine, and I will finally have my first competition under my belt, whatever my performance will be. But I'm super positive, and whatever the way I perform my first competition, because obviously there's a lot of things to take into consideration, stress, whatnot, obviously, because I don't even know what it feels like to lift in front of a crowd. But I'm feeling super confident. Lifting is feeling really good, and just I look forward to my first competition, and to come back and to reconstruct a lot of volume, focus on my new cues, on my new forms, keeping that chest up, just staying calm, tight, and patient, as I like to kind of do my lifting. Yeah, that's kind of how I try to think about each of my reps. So that's it for me. Next week will be a very short video, obviously, because very little lifting. I will probably discuss how things are going, what my body weight is, obviously how well that week went. I have no doubt that it will go very well. I will rest well this weekend and definitely destroy those triples and those AMRAPs and be really successful with that. And then the deload week will be even shorter, but I'll probably upload the deload week. The deload week will probably be a few minutes. Well, next week will be a few minutes as well. And then the mock meet or the real meet will be uploaded by itself. But obviously, I'm definitely hoping it's the real meet. So I'll be checking every day for the entry form to pop. And that is it for me. I will let you enjoy this block pools, I guess you could call, new variation that well, all variation kicked my ass, but yeah, I'll let you enjoy the rest of the footage, and I will see you next week. See you later, guys.